Philosophical thought of Sri Aurobindo. Sri Aurobindo was born on the 15th of August 1872 in a prosperous family of Calcutta, Kolkata. His father, Krishnagana Ghosh, was a popular doctor of Calcutta and was an admirer of Western culture. Even his servants spoke English. But he was very merciful by nature. In such a family was Sri Aurobindo born and brought up. Sri Aurobindo was intimate devotee of Gita. He has presented scientific analysis of Gita's Karma Yoga and Dhyan Yoga. In his view, the synthesis of human and divine power is yoga. In other words, yoga is that means by which man experiences divine power. Sri Aurobindo did not teach man to experience the inner element of self and get assimilated in Brahma, rather he wanted to guide the whole mankind from ignorance, darkness and death to knowledge, illumination and immortality. Therefore, his ideology is called Sarvang Yoga Darshan. It is necessary to understand the metaphysics, epistemology, logic, axiology and ethics of his Sarvang Yoga Darshan. Metaphysics of Sri Aurobindo's Sarvanga Yoga philosophy. According to Sri Aurobindo, God is the creator of this universe. Now the question arises, how God creates this world? Sri Aurobindo has analyzed it on the basis of theory of evolution. According to him, there are two directions of evolution: Avarohan descent and Arohan ascent. He clarified that Brahma takes the form of material world by Avarohan descent. He has mentioned 7 steps of this descent: Sat, Chitanandata, Manas, Manas, Prana, Dravya. According to him, man in this world, in his matter form, ascends by Arohan ascent to Sat, his original form or essence. He has mentioned 7 steps of it: Dravya, Prana, Manas, Atimanas, Anand, Chit, Sat. He accepted Brahma is Sat essence and God is Sat Chit Anand. Sri Aurobindo has taken the soul in the Purusha God form of Gita. In his view, the soul has 2 attributes of God, Anand and Chit. It transits through several yonis or species to enter human yoni and from this body proceeds towards Sat. Sri Aurobindo has taken man as a developed being. In his view, man is born at the 3rd step of ascent, Manas, and after birth he proceeds to Atimanas, from Atimanas to Anand, from Anand to Chit and from Chit to Sat. According to Sri Aurobindo, the ultimate aim of human life is the attainment of Sat Chit Jod Anand, that is, God. Sri Aurobindo opines about man's development that the knowledge of matter is necessary for his physical development, which can be attained through senses, and the knowledge of the self is necessary for his spiritual development, which can be attained by yogic activities: Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyan and Samadhi. Sri Aurobindo considered the need of education for all these. In his view, by education man should be given knowledge of his matter and prana forms at first, and then he should be given the knowledge of Atimanas, Anand, Chit and Sat. For all these, he considered the necessity of healthy body, pure mind and self-restraint life. Epistemology and logic of Sri Aurobindo's Sarvanga Yoga philosophy. According to Sri Aurobindo, the basic element in both of physical and spiritual elements is Brahma. So to know the non-distinction of physical and spiritual elements is the true knowledge. He has divided knowledge into 2 parts from the viewpoint of use: material knowledge and spiritual knowledge. He considered material knowledge, worldly knowledge, as ordinary knowledge and spiritual knowledge as higher knowledge. In his view, the knowledge of material world is got by senses and the knowledge of spiritual element is got by inner self. For the knowledge of spiritual element, he considered yogic activities Yama, Niyam, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyan and Samadhi as necessary. Axiology and ethics of Sri Aurobindo's Sarvanga Yoga philosophy. Sri Aurobindo has mentioned 7 steps of Arohan ascent: Dravya, Prana, Manas, Atimanas, Anand, Chit, Sat. According to him, man would have already crossed the steps of Dravya, Prana and Manas at birth. After birth he has to attain the stages of Atimanas, Anand, Chit and Sat. According to him, the ultimate aim of human life is to attain Anand Jod Chit Jod Sat. For it he has described Gita's Karma Yoga and Dhyan Yoga as the means in which the yogi does not flee from the world, rather does his duty without expectation of any returns with concentration in Sat Chit Anand. It is necessary for such a Karma Yogi and Dhyan Yogi to have a healthy body, pure mind and restrained life. For it, Sri Aurobindo has accepted the significance of yogic activities Yama, Niyam, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyan and Samadhi. In his opinion, all these should form part of man's conduct. Educational thought of Sri Aurobindo. Sri Aurobindo is more famous as a philosopher, but he felt the need of a particular type of education in order to bring his philosophical principles into human life. On the other side, the prevalent education was not suitable for the well-being of the nation, therefore he presented a national plan of education. He expressed his thought pertaining to education mainly in his two books, National System of Education and of Education. We present it in brief. Concept of education. Sri Aurobindo believed that man crosses the steps of Dravya and Prana to come to the condition of Manas. After his birth he has to arrive at the stage of Atimanas, from there to Anand, from Anand to Chit, and from Chit to Sat. If we want to take him towards this development, we will have to give such education in which he comes to know of his forms of Dravya, Prana and Manas, and to know the form and methods of attaining the stages onwards, i.e. Atimanas, Anand, Chit and Sat. According to Sri Aurobindo, this task can be done by education alone, the education that brings about man's physical, mental, and spiritual development. He termed it as integral education. In his words, education is the building of the power of human mind and spirit. It is the evoking of knowledge, character, and culture. Aims of education. According to Sri Aurobindo, there are two chief functions of education. First, to acquaint man with his development process, spiritual, and second, to develop in him the power to reach the stage of Sat. Sri Aurobindo has presented the aims of education in the sequence of development process. 1. Aim of physical development. The first step of the development of this universe and human is Dravya, matter. Sri Aurobindo wanted to acquaint man with this material world made from 5 great elements and his own physical form, and wanted to train him in the activities of protection of his body. It is called the aim of physical development, in other words. According to Sri Aurobindo, attainment of Sat Jor Chit Anand is possible only by the healthy body, so the foremost aim of education should be the physical development of man. For the protection of his Dravya form, man needs food, cloth and shelter. Therefore, he should be trained in a vocation or industry by education. It is called vocational development, in other words. Sri Aurobindo also knew that man lives this material life in the society, therefore he has also emphasized on his social development, and has included all these aims of education in man's physical development. Though, aim of pranic development, the second step of human development is prana. By prana is meant that energy due to which changes in the universe occur. According to Sri Aurobindo, the second aim of education should be to develop this prana. According to him, in order to direct prana of man in the proper direction, it is necessary to bring about his moral and character development and to firm up his willpower. This development can take place only when senses are redirected from asat to sat path. Therefore, the training of senses should be the second aim of education. For it, he considered necessary the purification of body, mind and inner self. Theme. Aim of mental development. Manas, that is mind, is the third step of human development. Manas is the most active part of our existence. Therefore, education should affect man's mental development. According to the heir to Sri Aurobindo, Sri Mataji, the education of mind has 5 components: awakening of the power of attention, enhancing the extensiveness and prosperity of the mind, organizing all the thoughts towards the supreme aim, restrain the thoughts and renounce the evil thoughts, and development of mental stability. For all this, Sri Aurobindo emphasized on enhancing man's imagination, memory, thinking, logic and decision powers by yogic activities. 4. Aim of development of inner self. Atimanas or inner self is the 4th step of human development. Sri Aurobindo has mentioned 4 stages of this inner self: chit, intellect, mind and self-realization. Sri Aurobindo had experienced that at this level man can understand everything without the use of senses. Sat is realized by inner self only. Therefore, education should affect the development of this inner self. For the development of this inner self, Sri Aurobindo has considered yogic method as necessary. 5. Aim of spiritual development. The final 3 steps of human development are Anand, Chit and Sat. According to Sri Aurobindo, Anand or bliss is that situation in which man does not feel happiness or sorrow. Chit is that consciousness power by which man comes to know the real form of his own, of the universe, and Sat is the name given to pure existence. Sat is attained only by God, so Sat is God and God is Sat. These 3 are spiritual levels. In order to reach these levels, Sri Aurobindo has recommended the Karma Yoga and Dhyan Yoga. For following these 2 paths, man needs yogic activities: yama, niyam, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyan and samadhi. According to him, this should be the final aim of education, curriculum of education. Sri Aurobindo has mentioned 5 aims of education: physical, pranic, mental, inner self and spiritual development. In his view, synthesized effort has to be made for the attainment of all these aims, and for it, he has presented a detailed and integrated curriculum. For physical development, he considered Western science and technology as necessary, so he included it in the curriculum, but he clarified that still more important is our own culture, which is the culture of yoga. In its absence, we can misuse physical science and technology. We can present the curriculum proposed by him as follows. Physical subjects, mother tongue and other languages of national and international importance, history, geography, sociology, economics, mathematics, science, psychology, hygiene, geology, agriculture, industry, commerce and art. Physical activities, games, exercise, production work, handicraft. Spiritual subjects, Vedas, Upanishads, Gita, theology, ethics and religions and philosophies of different countries. Spiritual activities, devotional songs, dhyan and yoga. But the study and training in all these subjects and activities will not be done in one day. They have been arranged in the following stages in Sri Aurobindo Ashrama. Primary level, mother tongue, English, French, general science, mathematics, social studies and drawing and games, exercise, gardening and devotional songs. Secondary level, mother tongue. English, French, mathematics, physics, chemistry, zoology, botany, hygiene, geology, social studies and drawing and games, exercise, gardening, agriculture, other handicrafts, devotional songs, dhyan and yoga. Higher level, English literature, French literature, mathematics, physics, chemistry, zoology, history of science, history of civilization, life science, sociology, psychology, Indian and Western philosophies, international relations and world integration, agriculture, other handicrafts and devotional songs. Dhyan and yoga. Methods of teaching. Sri Aurobindo believed in the evolution theory. According to him, there are 7 steps of development: Dravya, Prana, Manas, Atimanas, Anand, Chit, Sat. Man is born at the 3rd step and he needs to ascend the steps of Atimanas, Anand, Chit, Sat. For it he considered the need of healthy body, pure heart and restrained life. But the views of Sri Aurobindo about teaching methods are not fully clear. Sometimes he talks of successive method as per ancient teaching system, in which 1 or 2 subjects were taught at one time, and sometimes talks about the simultaneous education of several subjects and activities at one time in order to affect children's physical, mental and spiritual development altogether. On the one hand, he talks of providing education on the basis of child's physical powers, and on the other hand, accepts the significance of yogic activities. It is true, of course, that he wanted to innovate the ancient methods. He approved the preaching, lecture and other oral methods, but with the condition that the children will not be compelled to learn by rote, rather they will assimilate knowledge by their of storytelling method at the primary level. He supported the textbook method too, but in this regard he said that the child should be motivated for the discovery of knowledge and then he should be asked to read books. The child should not learn by rote from the books but use them as ancillary and reference books. He asked to pay attention to this aspect when adopting the self-study method too. In his view, yoga is the most suitable method of learning, but he considered self-activity, contemplation and reasoning as the basis of it too. On the analysis of his views pertaining to teaching, we come to know of the following facts. 1. While teaching, the physical and mental capacity of the children and their interests should be kept in mind. Though emphasis should be laid on understanding rather than on learning by rote. 13. The children should be given maximum opportunities to do activities and they should be allowed to learn by self-experience. 4. The children should be trained in the activities of senses restraint, contemplation and meditation. 5. The children should be treated with affection and sympathy. They should be free to do their work. 6. The medium of education should be the mother tongue. 7. Children's cooperation should be sought at every level for progress. Discipline. In Sri Aurobindo's views, doing duty willingly amounts to discipline. According to him, discipline is of great significance in the field of education. How the same has to be attained, Sri Aurobindo has his own views about it. He related discipline with emotion, and emotion with morality. According to him, it is the responsibility of each teacher to fill in the minds of children such emotions that they proceed towards goodness, abide by morality and concentrate in their studies. According to his opinion, teachers should treat the children affectionately and sympathetically. Strictness cannot beget true discipline. He termed punishment as an human activity. In this context, there is another thing that needs mention. It is that Sri Aurobindo believed in impressionistic discipline. According to him, teachers should present ideal conduct before the children, that the children imitate to march towards ideal conduct and then they take it as their duty to do so. In his view, true discipline is internal.